morning, good afternoon, and of course, good evening, traders from across the globe. Thank you for tuning into my 2485th edition of Short-Term Trading Live with Oscar Carboni. Hey, I appreciate you watching these videos, commenting on these videos, and I love having you fans in my trading room while we're trading each day. So thank you for showing up and logging in and following me. When I do my streaming, you're there in the chat room asking questions on YouTube. I love it, and I'll keep doing it. So thank you for everything you do, people out there. I really appreciate, I guess, your patronage, if you'd call it that. So thank you, your participation. Okay, so we've got some topics on the board, and before we get there, we must discuss risk. It is very risky to trade in this business. Remember, put your stops in, put them in first. Never trade without stops. Now let that sink in. See what I did there? I'm sure you guys know what that's a reference to, right? See him carrying that sink today? How cool was that? At Twitter with the sink. Let that sink in, kids. I think it's great. Anyway, you guys know I think he's a hero. I won't even mention his name. You know who I'm talking about if you got anything going on at all. So, what's going to happen for trading on October 27th, which is a Thursday, 2022? The OMNI, I have to tell you, I've got signals going this way, this way, this way, that way, that way. You know what I mean? The OMNI's like, I don't know which way to go tomorrow. So, because I cover lots of indices, not just one. So I've got arrows pointing in multiple directions, so I don't know what we'll do with that. We'll either buy a dip or sell a rally, but I think after the analysis you're about to see, you may have an idea what to do in tomorrow's markets, because I know I do. So let's look at some charts. Those charts will be about this. The ES, the E-mini S&P, the stock market itself, remains above the 200 bar moving average on the weekly chart, and you've heard about this in every video since it got there 4 weeks ago. Wall Street is watching. Well, you see what they did, right? I told you Wall Street would watch that. If it holds, they're coming in. And you see this nice rally that we've had in E-mini S&P, the stock market itself. NASDAQ, Russell, love to see that. Then there's this. I'm going to show you a chart to prove that as the dollar topped, almost to the very day that the dollar topped, the stock market bottomed at the 200 bar moving average. That's interesting. We'll look at charts about that. Number 3 on the board, the E-mini S&P, the Dow, both of them, the daily charts, are testing resistance and may be the end of the rainbow on this rally. Do not fall in love with the upside. I don't care. We had a few days up. So what? Do not fall in love with the upside in a big way. Day trading is one thing. Remember that we're selling into major rallies when you look at the forest and not just the trees for day trading. So the E-mini S&P and the Dow itself is testing resistance, and the charts I'm about to show you, I think, will make you want to question what to do tomorrow, and then, of course, we'll talk about how to handle that. And then, cryptocurrency fans, look at what's going on lately on the Bitcoin and Ethereum charts. They're looking smart. And I've got enough of it to be really happy when they go up, right? When they go down, I don't look, right? I go like this. Oh, Bitcoin's going down. Phone in the pocket. When they go up, every now and then I'll pull it out and see where we're at. So both of them, Bitcoin and Ethereum, looking good to me, baby. I can't wait to take a look at those. So traders, what I'll tell you is this. You can join me for free at livewithoscar.com. No credit cards, no nonsense. Just go to livewithoscar.com. Either log in or register. It's free to you. You'll get an email, shoot the email back, and boom, you're in. Then you can click Chat Live with Oscar, and voila, you will be in a live trading room with me. It's Live with Oscar. It's Live with Oscar, right? It's called livewithoscar.com. It is livewithoscar.com. If you trade every day and every night, and you hang out around markets, and that is what you do, that's what I do. And at Live with Oscar or Live with Oscar, I keep a camera and microphone on, and I'm in there typing all day and night, and other traders just live their lives with me. So are we in there trading every moment? No, of course not, because sometimes the markets do not set up into the OMNI den, and we don't trade at all. but it is open. We are there 24 hours a day. We are as serious as a heart attack. I am 100% Wall Street, and so is my trading room. So join me there. Again, it costs you nothing. You're just hanging out with me, and if you learn a little something, how could that hurt? And what else I'm going to say is subscribe to these YouTube videos, and then that's about it. After that, I want to tell you that I try to keep my emotions out of trading. Now, it's taken me years to learn how to do that. It took me a while to recognize that a system can be trusted and it does not need any emotional decisions. When the system says jump, you say how high. When the system says get out, you say thank you, sir, I'm out. And if you can do that without interfering, you're keeping your emotions out of the game. Now, that sounds great until you're in a trade that's going against you, right? And then the nails start getting bit, and the phone calls start getting made. You start pulling up 3-second charts, 2-second charts, 5-minute charts. Hey, look, I found the chart that agrees with my losing position, not losing. You know what I'm saying? You know all the stuff that's going to happen to you, right? That's called emotional. That's called emotions. And making emotionally traded or emotionally fired trading decisions always ends up bad. So we don't shoot from the hip. We plan a trade. We write that, this is how serious I am about that. Every single night I plan my trades. Yes, there's technology, wonderful. I write them down with a marker on a piece of paper. I fold them up and I put them in my pockets. And it tells me where I'm going to buy, where I'm going to get stopped out, where I'm going to take a profit. The stop goes in first. Every trade I'm going to do is written. It is in my pocket so that I can absolutely do my best each day. Now that I've planned the trade, to trade the plan. It's not an easy thing to do. It's what we do here every day at the OMNI Trading Academy. So come to my free live trading room and I'll help teach you how to be patient, how to wait for the markets to come to you. And if that doesn't happen, stand aside, we'll cheerlead for the day, and we'll jump back in the next day. If that is what you can use, come join me because, again, it won't cost you anything, and I don't mind having friends around me when I'm sitting there trading all day and night. And that's about it. Now, one of the other things that I do to keep my emotions out of this game before we look at those charts is I say this to myself over and over again, and you should say it too because I promise it'll help, especially when the markets are going against you. And by now, you should know what that is. Stops are in. Put those stops in. Emotions are out. Rock and roll traders, remember that. And now let's go look at some charts. Now traders, check this out. Of course, you keep hearing about this chart. Why? Because I always look at what's current, what Wall Street's looking at, what the street, what all you traders are looking at. I try to look at that as well, right? What's common? The 200 bar moving average on a weekly chart. So you've been seeing this in every video because when it's in vogue, that's what we use to make decisions. So as you know, I've shown you many times, the market comes crashing all the way down. This is the S&P on a weekly bar. So every one of these is considered 1 week's worth of trading, not just a day. When it gets down to the 200 bar moving average, the blue line, it bounces up a lot. Hundreds and hundreds of points. COVID hits. We go through the 200 bar moving average for about 4 or 5 weeks, and away it goes. Comes back down and hits it right here, and look what happens. It hits it here. So it gets down there, and then it spends 4 weeks, 1, 2, 3, 4, above, holding above the 200, like it did here. Well, it went under, but then it came back above, and like it did here. So the market is starting to rally, and we're up to here now. Very interesting on the long term, and here's what I really like about watching what happened here. We've got 5 weeks here, total of 5 weeks. Here's the same chart blown up. The first week when we got to the average, boom. All right, so then we have 4 weeks of holding. 1, 2, 3, 4. So we actually have 5 weeks at the line, right? 5 weeks at the 200. 5 weeks. Check this out. So it held 5 weeks ago. That's when it really started holding here. Now watch this. That's the E-mini S&P. Here's the dollar index on a daily. 5 weeks ago, count them, on daily bars that put you right here, 1 day before the top came in. Exactly there. When the dollar topped, the S&P bottomed. Now the dollar is working its way down. That's pretty darn promising, isn't it? So hey, if that's the way analysis is going to play out, you can see the dollar has fallen out of the channel. Great channel it's been in for a while, but it has fallen out of this channel and is starting to race lower. I mean, these are quick downward bars. This thing's starting to go. Dropped under the average, below the channel, down it's starting to go. We'll talk about the inflation that's going to bring to America in another video. But for now, very cool to notice that right here, when this topped, the ES bottomed. So let's keep our eyes on that dollar. And then let's go crypto fans, because right behind this chart, I'm going crypto crazy. Now we're going short term. We're going to be trading this. What I just showed you is long term. Short term is E-mini S&P, NASDAQ for tomorrow, maybe the Russell, and then, of course, Ethereum and Bitcoin. Check out the shorter term view. Now, I just showed you that beautiful long-term view and everything looks so rosy and we're going straight up, but I don't like the way this looks at all on the daily as of Wednesday afternoon's close. We rallied up, hit this trend line that's been existing and sitting here for some time, almost got to it here, and we just hit it on Wednesday afternoon. It turned around and dumped all the way into the lows. Now, that I do not like. I didn't like it here, I didn't like it here, I didn't like it here, and I do not like what we just seen there. We had a nice bull flag with a projection. We made the projection, hit the resistance, turn around, and drop for the rest of the day. I don't like when I see that. Resistance is being tested. Then you go to your Dow Jones. The Dow Jones daily bar. Check this out. It is at the OMNI average at the top of this channel. All right, look at this channel. It's at the top of the channel. Boop, 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 boop. Hits the OMNI average. The top of that channel can easily be a bear flag, right? Easily this is a bear flag. So I am telling you on the daily, we need to be careful here. So we rallied up. We just filled this gap that was left on the Dow Jones for the last few weeks. We just filled it on Wednesday, into Wednesday afternoon, smacked into the top of this channel and the OMNI. Now, the OMNI average. Look at what happened here around the OMNI average. It failed and dumped. Look at what happened here. It failed and dumped. Look at here. It got above and exploded. Look what happened here. Rallied up, failed and dumped. Rallied up, failed and dumped. Rallied up, got above, came back, failed and dumped. Well, we are at it at the top of a channel, which could very well be part of a bear flag after filling a gap. That I don't like either, kids. I have to tell you, I don't like the way that looks at all. And then I've got OMNI signals instead of a buy or a sell. I've got buys, sells, neutrals. I've got this thing all over the place. So OMNI doesn't really want me to do anything unless we move to extremes on the upside or downside. Then I can react. So that's what I'm looking at now. Short-term trading once again. For you crypto fans who are short-term trading, look at this Ethereum chart. It has exploded. Now, look at these usual daily bars lately. Look at the size of them. And look at the size of these lately. Very nice, right? This is tonight. It's just warming up. It's just getting moving. So we're starting to get nice big bars inside of this channel. I love what I'm seeing in Ethereum. And Bitcoin fans, it looks just as pretty. Instead of getting above the OMNI or above the 50 bar moving average in Bitcoin. But that's okay because it's above a smart average that people on Wall Street pay attention to. And look at the size of these bars we're getting all of a sudden. So I like the both of them. The one thing I will tell you is this. Lately, no matter what anybody in the Bitcoin, Ethereum world tells you, or if they even tell you otherwise, that has been following the algorithms of the stock market. You can say no, you can argue against it. The algorithms in Bitcoin have been the same algorithms used in the stock market, and they're sort of trading together. We've just had a rally in the E-mini S&P. We just had a rally in Bitcoin. I don't think I have to prove it much more than that, right? So there are people out there that argue against it. Take it from me, 41 years in the business. I promise these guys ride together right now. So where the problem comes in is if that resistance in the S&P turns out to be real, say goodbye to that rally. One day at a time. I am not going to call that resistance real yet. I'm going to say we are in rally mode, but the Omni did get out of any arrow and is basically neutral. Traders, that's a lot to handle for one night. I understand that, but I wanted to show you all of these charts. Come join me in my free live trading room at livewithoscar.com, and we can go over all the charts in this video live, discussing them with one another. Thank you for tuning in. Good luck trading. I will see you all at livewithoscar.com.